See coverage of the Scorcher tonight for the super late models on Scott Bloomquist Memorial Night here. I'm Rick Benjamin. Dalton Lamb is alongside our entire GrassrootsDocs.com team bringing you excellent coverage live tonight from Volunteer Speedway. Hope you're enjoying our coverage this evening and looking forward to just a great 50 laps of action coming up here in just a couple of moments. We'll have the lineup for you for the super late models coming your way here in just a second or so as we get the cars ready to move, and they are on the backstretch now, about ready to go, and here we go. Here's your starting lineup as the field makes its way around. On the pole, the winner of the Volunteer 50 here earlier this season, the former World of Outlaws champion from Chickamauga, Georgia, the 17M of Dale McDowell. On the outside of row number one, Michael Brown in the 24D, Brown from Lancaster in South Carolina. Second row on the inside, the 83 of Jensen Ford, alongside him in the 11, the Wells entry of Brandon Overton, certainly a driver to watch here tonight. Row three on the inside, the 23 of Corey Hedgecock will line up fifth. And on the outside in the 79, it's Donald McIntosh. Row number four, the 57M of Cameron Marlar goes seventh. Zach Mitchell in the 57 will line up outside in the eighth starting spot. Ricky Weiss from Canada in the 7W starts ninth. And Cade Loudy in the 126 will line up on the outside of row five. He is your 10th fastest qualifier. Kenny Collins in the 1C starts 11th. Forrest Trent in the 101 goes 12th. Row 7, Rusty Ballinger in the 1G. And the 71 of Pierce McCarter starting 14th. Chase King starts 15th in the 44. Jordan Horton is 16th on the grid in the 56 car. Vic Hill, the Vic Hill Racing Engine's 1 car, lines up 17th. Christian Hanger in the 29 starts 18th. They make up row number 9. Row 10, the 329 of Travis Foltz. Carson Brown in the 28. Chris Chandler has the 8 car starting 21st. Noah Phillips in the 15 goes 22nd. Steve Smith in the 3S is 23rd on the grid. The B00 of Josh Henry starts 24th. Josh Sneed in the 79J is your 25th starter, and he is in row 13 all by himself. 50 laps of green flag racing coming your way in the Scorcher tonight here at Volunteer Speedway.
You know, I got to be honest, Rick. I grew up a Vic Hill fan because I came to Volunteer Speedway a lot. I was a Vic Hill fan here, 5-time track champion, won all of them in my lifetime growing up here. But it feels really weird to be at a Scorcher race, and especially in a time in which Scott was running a lot of regional races. He had run the Hunt the Front series a lot this year, been at a lot of races. He was at the Volunteer 50 earlier this summer. It feels very strange, and I know that this is the Scott Bloomquist Memorial Scorcher. I just don't think that anybody realized that there would be a Scott Bloomquist Memorial this soon.
Yeah, not now.
And it feels weird to be lining up here on the opening grid and to know that Scott is not here, especially in the starting 24 at Volunteer Speedway, a track that he considered home, a track that he dominated for a very long time.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those things where, you know, guys that are heroes in this sport, and he certainly was to an awful lot of people, when they go too soon, it just makes you sit and think for a minute.
It does. And, you know, you think, you know, Scott was not terribly old. Think about going too soon, but Scott could have lived to be 100, and a lot of people would think it was going too soon. And a lot of people have a lot of opinions about Scott Bloomquist, whether it's good, bad, indifferent, doesn't really matter. The man was a polarizing character, but if you knew him and you knew the stories that he told, he was the type of man that you could love, you could hate, you could love to hate, but at the end of the day, you were entertained by him.
Sure, absolutely. I can remember back at the time when I was calling the World of Outlaws late models on Speed Channel, the annual closer in November at Charlotte Motor Speedway, dirt track, and going there because we were doing the race, walking the pit area early in the evening, and Scott was notorious for covering his front end and his rear end of the race car and not wanting anybody to see what he had there.
Yeah.
He was the only guy in the garage area doing that. And I remember talking to him about it at the time. And, there's posturing and things like that. There's the memorial lap here for the 18 car, which, of course, was Scott's number for so many years. And I just thought, that was one of the things that made him such a unique character in the sport. He wanted people to think and wonder what it was he had up his sleeve.
Again, a polarizing character, and he was the embodiment of that, and I think he wore that, and he embraced that. You can love me, you can hate me, but you're going to be talking about me. And when you're talking about me, you're buying my merch.
That's right. T-shirts are flying off the trailer.
That's it.
Well, it is a shame. He is much missed by so many, and certainly a worthy honor for him here at Volunteer Speedway to have the celebration of life earlier today, and then to have the laps of honor with the 18 car pacing the field here tonight.
Good field of cars here tonight for the inaugural Scott Bloomquist Memorial Scorcher on just a beautiful night. And it's not 10 o'clock yet, and we're going to the missing man formation.
The 4 wide salute as the field lines up coming out of turn 2 behind the 18 car. The inside of row number 1, the pole position being left open in Scott's honor here tonight. Mooresburg, Tennessee, of course. Fans on their feet, waving and salute.
Call that the missing man formation, but you see his fans are standing up to get these images. Missing man, but at the same time, you still got the car on the track, and it's a beautiful sight. And I really don't have a whole lot of words. It's just one of those things. A lot of people say it's the greatest sight in all of motorsports, and it is very true.
Well, awesome that the track and Vic and the whole team here at Volunteer Speedway would decide to do a lap of honor, a memorial service in Scott Bloomquist's memory, a celebration of life here earlier today. Certainly, you know, the motorsports world was shocked at the news of his passing several weeks ago now. And, you know, the sport is poor for not having him active at this point, for sure.
And, you know, the motorsports world, you mentioned it. It was a loss for everyone in the motorsports world. And it's one of those things that a lot of people were at Eldora. 30, 40, 50,000 people were at Eldora for that memorial. But you look at, I'm sure that at some point, Ariel and her family, they see this night tonight as a little bit of closure, as this is, you know, they had a private family memorial earlier this week. They see this as a little bit of closure. It's kind of been a parade from Eldora all the way to home here in East Tennessee, and hopefully Ariel and her family can kind of see this as what it is, and it's just that closing moment for them. They get a little bit of closure. Obviously, as Ariel said earlier in her speech at the Celebration of Life, it doesn't get easier. There's a lot of questions there. But, you know, from us at Volunteer Speedway, grassrootsdocs.com, we're glad to be a part of this inaugural event.
For sure.
Man, it's going to be an exciting 50 laps.
Absolutely. There's McDowell, your fast qualifier, pole sitter, as always in the 17M from Chickamauga, Georgia, just down the road a little bit. Outside in the 24D, that's Michael Brown, the blue and white machine. There's Brandon Overton in the Wells 11 car on the outside of row 2. Jensen Ford in the 83, lining up in 3rd spot. Row 3, Corey Hedgecock there in the 29. Don McIntosh, D-Mac in the 79 outside, starting in 6th. Cameron Marlar goes 7th in the 57M, and Zach Mitchell in the other 57 lines up 8th. Ricky Weiss starts 9th. Keep your eye on that black number 7. And Cade Lowdy in the 126 will grid 10th. Should be the final pace lap. We'll see if the flagman's giving him the 1 to go. 50 laps of green flag action coming your way tonight. Good to have you with us here on grassrootsdocs.com. Live coverage from Volunteer Speedway in Bulls Gap, Tennessee. 4/10 of a mile, high-banked clay. The East Tennessee red clay is beautiful tonight and in great shape for some terrific racing. We should have an outstanding 50-lap A-main tonight for the super late. Still to come, the front-wheel drive machines, the crate late model sportsman will be up next, and then we'll wrap things up with the 2 features for those cars. Yeah, a 46-car field tonight, so we split them into 2. And some extra sponsorship coming on board to pay a second purse tonight, which is terrific for those entries. Field ready to go. Fans on their feet for the first couple of laps here tonight, I am sure. A lot of favorites, a lot of drivers with a national reputation, a lot of drivers with a lot of victories at this track and many, many more nationwide. Set to go racing for you tonight here at Volunteer Speedway. McDowell will lead him to green. Brown on the outside of the 24D. That's Jensen Ford in the 83. And Corey Hedgecock in that red 23. Green flag is in the air. Mike Wallace of the Racing Wallace family, our Grand Marshal, drops the green, and we are underway, and McDowell out to the early lead over Brown in the 24. Overton to 3rd in the 11. 3 wide for second spot through 3 and 4. McDowell puts 1 lap on the board as your leader. Brown in 2nd.
Hill just shot out of a cannon there, coming down the backstretch out of 2.
McIntosh to 3rd in the 79. Overton and Ford rounds out the top 5. Corey Hedgecock slots into 6th in front of Mitchell. Cameron Marlar down in 7th. McDowell about 4 car lengths to the good over Michael Brown.
Now pulling out to a lead here, but you look out at the middle of the pack, you've got a lot of action there in the middle of the pack.
Yes, you do.
Screen there.
Take a look back there at the 71 car. It's Pierce McCarter back in 12th. Forrest Trent in the 101, fighting for position. The 29 of Christian Hanger. This is around 13th, 14th, 15th in the opening laps here at Volunteer. 4 on the board out of 50. McDowell leads him out of turn 4, leading lap number 5. Look at that track taking rubber up in the middle.
Didn't take long.
Nope.
5 laps in, and McDowell's already chasing down the tail of the field.
79J of Josh Sneed, final qualifier. He will be the first car to go a lap down there. 4 wide out of 2, though. This is for position a little further back. The 44 car sitting back there. Back around 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. Gill in the 1. Blue and yellow machine, the B00. This is 18th, 19th, and 20th. Rusty Ballinger in the 21G. Up front, it is still Dale McDowell. Second spot to Michael Brown in the 24D.
Yeah, they're running that middle to high line around 1 and 2. It's something I'm not really used to seeing.
Donald McIntosh. Donald McIntosh there in the 79, third. Overton fourth. Overton really going up on the cushion there and hasn't been able to make any hay yet.
He likes to knock the deck off, especially when he's around here. But he also talks about he doesn't really run well around here.
Passing flag being shown to the lap cars. We've got a bunch of them already. McDowell puts 10 laps on the board out of 50. Brown now under attack. This is second spot in play. McIntosh in the 79 trying to go to the inside. Brown's been second since the drop of the green. McIntosh may be able to get him here. Lap traffic is definitely going to be a factor as they arrow into 1 and 2. And Brown able to use the lap traffic to open up a couple of car lengths on the 79. McDowell, meantime, has his hands full. Brown hanging with him. Dale McDowell has led all the way so far. Lap traffic is definitely going to be a factor here as we work our way toward the middle portions of this one.
McDowell finds a little bit of clean air, and he starts to pull away from McIntosh. But if he's not in clean air, he's able to pull him back in, reel him in.
Dale McDowell in the Easy Go 17M. Fast qualifier tonight has led all the way so far. Michael Brown in the 24D. McIntosh, Brandon Overton, and Jensen Ford, your top 5. Corey Hedgecock made a big move on the start. Got up to 3rd, but he's fallen back to 6th now. Zach Mitchell, Cameron Marlar, Ricky Weiss is 9th. Forrest Trent is 10th, and we have caution. Caution on the speedway.
I don't see it. Well, we got somebody slow over in turn 4.
We do down on the inside. That is the 55, I believe. 56 of Jordan Horton, rather. I'm sorry. Jordan Horton goes behind the wall. He'll be the first car out here tonight. Caution waving. Showing 13 laps complete, 37 remain of the Scorcher tonight here at Volunteer Speedway.
Dale McDowell, I think, is probably the most excited man on the racetrack right now to be able to see that caution flag come out, because when he was in that lap traffic, Michael Brown, I said McIntosh, Michael Brown was all over his bumper.
Well, and Donald McIntosh in the 79 made a move towards second a couple of times, got up alongside Brown on the 24D. It was lap traffic that forced him to back out of the gas. Right. So we've got a dandy going tonight here at Volunteer Speedway. The A-main for the super late models. Scott Bloomquist Memorial Night, the Scorcher 50-lapper, $10,000 to win tonight up for grabs. And McDowell in the Klotz Engines machine has dominated so far. There you see the black strip high in the racetrack going into 1. That is the fast way around. There is rubber down up there. McDowell will be all by himself in the front row. The 79 and the 24D will make up the second row. McIntosh goes to the bottom. I'm not sure if I was Michael Brown that I would pick the high side. You are up in the what is now the groove here.
Yeah.
But
well, right now, again, we've talked about it all night. The track is in such good condition. I think they feel like they can run just about anywhere, and maybe he likes the high side. I know Brandon Overton's going to want to be on the high side. He's going to knock the deck out of it.
Overton lines up 5th there in that kind of cream-colored 11 car. Not his normal number, but certainly his Wells race team has behind him with a great ride tonight. Overton lining up 4th, and it's Ford. Corey Hedgecock and Zach Mitchell, 6th and 7th. Cameron Marlar and Ricky Weiss, 8th and 9th. Forrest Trent and Pierce McCarter, 10th and 11th, behind McDowell with 37 remaining here at Volunteer Speedway. Quick lap of the night so far in race conditions by McDowell, a 13.685, so about a second slower than qualifying speed. We're back underway at Volunteer Speedway. There's that move by McIntosh in the 79. Can Brown do the over and under? We'll see if he can get by him going into 3. Battle for second here as McDowell leads him out of 4. McDowell continuing to run up front. Post McIntosh into second in the 79. Brown down to third. Then it's Overton and Jensen Ford and Corey Hedgecock, top 6.
Again, McDowell with that fresh air is just pulling away from both McIntosh and Michael Brown.
He's enjoying the ride at this point because it's a long way to go to catch up to lap cars.
These 50-lap races at Volunteer, you know, if you're at a 100-lap race, you can kind of save a little bit so you don't catch the back of the field so quickly. You can't do that with 50 laps.
No, this is an all-out sprint. Action a little deeper in the field here. The 28, the 1, and the 71 going at it. This is back around 11th, 12th, 13th. The 1C of Kenny Collins there. 71 car of Pierce McCarter in 11th. 28 moving up. That's Carson Brown. Cade Cody is right in the mix there. Cade Loudy, rather, in the 126. So you've got a good battle back there for 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th. Meanwhile, for the lead, here's McIntosh closing in on McDowell.
McIntosh showing that nose. Trying to get underneath him.
This time
doesn't
around,
have enough in 1 and 2.
They will put 20 laps on the board. There'll be 30 to go this time by. McIntosh looking to the low side out of 4, but McDowell keeping the 17M right up there in the rubber. You see that black strip that has formed. Now in 3 and 4, there's rubber all up the racetrack, so you've got a little more choice of line. Vic Hill, meantime, in the 1 car, challenging the 44 for position. This is for 15th. Hill is 16th. The 44 car of Chase King in 15th. Vic Hill trying to get by him here. Work his way toward the front. McDowell continues to lead. Donald McIntosh in the 79 in second as they race into turn 3. You can see McIntosh going to the bottom there. McDowell continues to use that middle line and then the high line in 1 and 2. Lapping by the 56 car. It's Jordan Horton in 22nd spot. No change out in front. McDowell has led all the way so far.
You know, you like to think that as he comes down the backstretch into turn 3 and 4, as he catches these next round of lap cars, there's 4 or 5, and as he gets one lap car after the other, they get faster and faster.
They do. Third spot now, Brandon Overton using that high line. Don't count him out of this thing. If we get a late caution, Overton certainly might be a factor. Michael Brown shuffled back to 4th. Jensen Ford, Cameron Marlar, your top 6. McDowell leads halfway, 25 to go. McDowell now has to go low because of the lap traffic in 3 and 4. Trying to find some grip down there. He's going to go low in 1 and 2 now as the lap cars work the high side. That gives McIntosh a move, a chance going into 3. McIntosh points the 79 to the bottom. McDowell is able to hold on coming out of 4. Oh, McDowell with a problem there. Nearly gets hung up on the 329. Dale McDowell in the 17M now. He's led all the way. McIntosh in the 79 closing in.
He's been right there for the last 4 or 5 laps. I don't know. Can he get by?
Michael Brown in the 24D joins the fun now, using the high side. 20 laps to go. 30 complete. 20 remain in the Scorcher. And McIntosh in the 79 right alongside McDowell for the lead. McDowell still maintains a car length in 3. Trouble ahead. Lap traffic is going to be a factor here. McDowell trying to work the middle line. Trying to keep the door closed on Donald McIntosh in the 79. McDowell to the bottom. McIntosh has to go high this time out of 4.
McIntosh going back home. McDowell going back to home to the bottom line here at Volunteer.
You told us earlier about how he likes to work that bottom when he can.
That's where he feels most at home here at Volunteer Speedway, and when he's trying to work underneath this lap traffic who's staying high, that's just where he wants to go.
McDowell continues to lead. Here comes the 79 car of Donald McIntosh, reeling him back in. Cameron Marlar, meantime, in the 57M makes a big move on the bottom, trying for third. Didn't quite get there. And caution. We had trouble up in 4. Yeah, I think we had a little bit of jousting for position there up in 4. We'll see what we can find out here. There's Cameron Marlar in the 57. He has raced his way to 4th here as we go caution with 33 down, 17 remaining tonight in the Scorcher 50.
And Donald McIntosh and Michael Brown are saying, guys, we had him. We were right there. We had him. We had the, he had gone to the bottom. We were staying middle. We were trying to reel him in, and then caution.
But it lets everybody cool their tires down. We'll see if anybody has an opportunity here to take advantage, maybe get some clean air, get the lap cars out of the way perhaps, and really go for it here in the final 17 laps.
17 laps, definitely. We've watched already both restarts that we've had. Well, the initial start and the restart. It takes about 5 to 6 laps for the leaders to catch the back of the field. It'd be interesting to see with 17 laps here, you're going to catch lap traffic.
Sure.
How opportunistic will Donald McIntosh, Michael Brown, Cameron Marlar, and Brandon Overton be in these last 17 laps as McDowell catches lap traffic?
Caution waving for the second time here in the Scorcher 50 for the super late models, live from Volunteer Speedway in Bulls Gap, Tennessee on grassrootsdocs.com. I'm Rick Benjamin. Dalton Lamb is alongside tonight. Appreciate the opportunity to be here with you this evening. It's been an outstanding night of dirt track action so far. We hope you're enjoying our coverage. Certainly some great looks at what's going on here tonight at Bulls Gap, Tennessee, at Volunteer Speedway. This hard clay, 0.4 of a mile high banked oval, prepared to perfection by Vic Hill and the track crew here tonight. Got to really take our hats off to them because the surface was just as close to perfect as you'll ever find a dirt track, I think, coming in here tonight.
He's done a really good job here. The one thing about Vic is that, a lot of people think, if you run a racetrack, you don't think, but a lot of people think that you can come out the week of the race, start watering a few days before, but Vic's out here at least 3 to 4 days a week watering the track, packing it in, figuring out a way to make it faster. He tests his engines over here a lot, and that allows him to see, what can I do to make the track better? How can I set it up if I want the track to be a little bit faster, more hammer down? How can I set the track up? How much water do I need to have? How little water to make the track a little more slick, a little more racy?
Preparing a dirt track is part art, part science.
It is.
You have to know what compounds to put on the clay. I've talked to a lot of people who managed dirt tracks over the years and seen a lot of tracks. Guys say, yeah, I know what to do, and then have it not turn out very well on race day. But this has been beautiful tonight for us, no question. All right, the 17 of McDowell, your restart leader. That's that gray and black machine up front. The 79 of Donald McIntosh right behind him, and then the 24 car of Michael Brown. And we are ready to go racing tonight here in the late model main event. The super late cars are on their way, and here we go. 17 laps to go.
Dale McDowell again jumping out to a quick lead as he comes out of 1 and 2 down the backstretch. And McIntosh is unable to capitalize.
McIntosh sitting there in second spot. Third spot belongs to Michael Brown. Dale McDowell with 15 laps to go. Cameron Marlar really putting on a great drive in that 57M to get by the 11 of Brandon Overton. Going to the outside now. Cameron Marlar wants a shot at the lead.
What a crossover.
Down into turn 1, he takes second spot. Michael Brown back there. McIntosh shuffle back to fourth. Fight for second behind the race leader, McDowell. Brandon Overton in the 11 car. He is fifth right now. The 79 of McIntosh looked as though he was going to be able to challenge Dale McDowell, but his handling has gone away here in the late stages of this.
Struggling to find as McDowell is continuing to extend his lead.
McDowell on lap 38, 12 to go. Clean air and all by himself, but here comes Cameron Marlar, the 57M. Reeling in the race leader, running the high side. Marlar up against the wall.
Out of nowhere.
He just caught fire about 5 laps ago, and he is flying. He is going to go around McDowell on the high side. Cameron Marlar takes over the lead from Dale McDowell. McDowell says, no, you don't. Comes right back at him here on lap 40, but Marlar is going to grab the point. Cameron Marlar just caught fire here a few moments ago and has rolled to the lead and opened up a big lead over Dale McDowell. Third spot is Michael Brown. Donald McIntosh has fallen back to fourth. So Mike Marlar's son doing a great job of that 57 car. Just rolling here.
I don't know what he's found on that top side, but he is by far the fastest car on the racetrack tonight.
No doubt about it. A 13.244, his quick lap of the night. He is almost 4 tenths quicker than McDowell right now. Dale McDowell, having gotten shuffled back to second, we'll see if lap traffic becomes more of a factor here for Marlar, but he is able to stay to the high side, work his way by the 15 car. Got to navigate lap traffic, though, and this is where it gets dicey.
Especially when you're that much faster than everyone.
Putting lap 44 of 50 on the board. 5 laps to go this time. 5 to go for Cameron Marlar in the 57. Doing a terrific job here. 5 laps remaining. Marlar over McDowell, Michael Brown, Donald McIntosh, and Brandon Overton. Corey Hedgecock is 6th. Marlar with one more lap car to navigate. Swings it to the bottom. Does the slide job on the 44 to clear that machine. It's the car of Chase King, who's back in 15th spot. So Marlar has lapped up to 15th now. Only 14 cars on the lead lap. 2 laps to go this time by for Cameron Marlar. There'll be 2 to go.
I don't know that anybody's got anything for Marlar, barring any kind of mechanical issue.
It does not look that way. He is perfectly smooth up on the high side. He has found the cushion. Tire choice in dirt racing can be everything. American Racer and Hoosiers allowed in this event. I think Marlar found something with his tire combination. White flag in the air for Cameron Marlar in the Scorcher 50 here at Volunteer Speedway. Marlar all by himself into turn 3. Dale McDowell about 2 seconds behind now, and Cameron Marlar takes home the $10,000 prize. He is the winner of the Scorcher, the Scott Bloomquist Memorial tonight here at Volunteer Speedway. McDowell, your pole sitter, will have to settle for 2nd. Michael Brown is 3rd. Donald McIntosh is 4th in the 79. And Brandon Overton rounds out the top 5 in the 11 car. So Cameron Marlar in that 57 car from Winfield, Tennessee. His best lap, the 39th lap of the race, a 13 flat. Quickest under race conditions by a lot. That was about when he really got going and took off. Took McDowell and grabbed the victory by himself. What a run for the young driver of the 57 car.
It's almost like he was 75% around this racetrack until the last 10 laps. And he just found a new gear, legitimately found a new gear. He was well above. The lap times were way below, and his performance was well above what he had done even the first 10 to 15 laps, or the first 30 laps of this race. And I'm not really sure what that was. That was impressive. He found something hooked up on that outside, and I mean, you saw him there. He nearly made contact as he crossed over coming out of 4 with about 15 to go. And from there, it was on.
It was. And Dale McDowell, who was able to maintain the lead from the pole the entire race until that moment, his lead had varied. He'd been under attack a couple of different times, but he had beaten back all those attacks with no problem.
Yep.
He had nothing for Marlar. And, you know, talking about tire choice here, we're kind of into the weeds a little bit on how this kind of racing is conducted. But I looked at the tire sheet ahead of the race, and there were 6 or 7 different tires that were legal for this event tonight from 2 different manufacturers. I've got to believe he picked a tire combination that was perfect for the last 10 laps.
And he hooked up. And again, we talk about the track preparation. One thing that Vic has talked about, and he's told a lot of people about it, is you'll see this track, you know, it's a really high-banked racetrack. You see the cushion a lot of places when it's flat tracks and places like that. But Vic has tried to put a cushion, especially in 3 and 4, and allow these guys to get up there around the top of the racetrack and really just stay hooked up all the way around. And Cameron Marlar made that choice, and he got up there, and I don't know what it was, tires or just found the right line, but you know, he turned it on and when it mattered.
And you had talked earlier about how Dale McDowell loves to run the bottom here. Late in the race with his lead, lap traffic, he said, okay, I'll go to the bottom. It was fine for a few laps, but once Marlar got up to the top, that was it. Game over. So Cameron Marlar comes to victory lane, and just a great drive for the young driver out of Tennessee here, and a local driver in the area. Certainly a great win for him tonight here at Volunteer Speedway. 2nd spot goes to McDowell. 3rd is Michael Brown. Donald McIntosh, who challenged for the lead earlier, ends up 4th ahead of Brandon Overton. Corey Hedgecock comes home 6th. Ricky Weiss will have to settle for 7th in the 7 car. Jensen Ford in the 83 comes home 8th. Pierce McCarter with the 71 is 9th. Zach Mitchell rounds out the top 10 in the other 57 car. 11th to Forrest Trent in the 101. The 1C of Kenny Collins is 12th. Vic Hill gets credit for 13th in the 1 car. Josh Henry, who ran up front earlier in the B00, 14th. Chase King is 15th. Noah Phillips 16th. Carson Brown 17th. Chris Chandler in the 8 car comes home 18th, and Cade Loudy in the 126, who ran up front earlier, has to settle for 19th tonight, 11 laps down. Travis Fultz, Rusty Ballinger, Jordan Horton, Joshua Sneed, Christian Hanger, and Steve Smith. The rest of your entries here tonight, and that's how they come across the line in the Scorcher 50. And $10,000 will go to Cameron Marlar, assuming the 57M successfully goes over the scales and meets tech inspection qualifying, and then
we'll see. I don't know that I see Chris Payne or anyone down there in Victory Lane. I would imagine that we would have Victory Lane checks presented. Okay, they're going to do it down here on the front stretch is where we're going to do it at. So when they're down there on the front stretch, we'll pitch it down to them, have those interviews. I don't know if it's going to be Cody, Chris, or who it may be, but we'll switch them here in just a few minutes. We'll give them time to get down there.
Look forward to hearing from Cameron Marlar, the winner tonight of the Scorcher 50 here at Volunteer Speedway in Bulls Gap. Don't go away, because we've got much more racing to come here tonight. We still have the double features for the Crate Sportsman late models, and then the front-wheel drive machines will wrap things up. Their feature event will close out the card tonight here on Scorcher night at Volunteer Speedway. Scott Bloomquist Memorial Night, first annual Scott Bloomquist race here at Memorial Race here at Volunteer Speedway. So a lot more racing to come your way this evening at the Gap at Volunteer Speedway. Beautiful night for it here in September, and so happy to be part of this with you and our whole crew from this team that has put this broadcast together tonight. We hope you're enjoying our coverage here tonight at Volunteer Speedway. GrassrootsDocs.com, of course, the platform, and we've got a lot more coming for you in motorsports over the winter months and into 2025. A lot to talk about, and you'll be hearing about that from us as we move through the rest of this 2024 season. Got some things going on. Got some racing next weekend to come your way on the platform from Golden Isle Speedway down in Georgia, and more great things will be unveiled as we move along as well. So excited about all of that, and hope you'll enjoy what we have for you in the months to come. There's the 57M race winner Cameron Marlar going across the scales there. Dale McDowell, second place finisher on the front straightaway, to receive his honors tonight, as well as Marlar clears the scales and comes around to accept the check and claim victory honors here tonight in the Scorcher at Volunteer Speedway. Let's send it down trackside.
As Dale McDowell and Michael Brown going to make their way over to give him a thumbs up. Tell you what, he's been red hot over the last few months. And he climbs out of the car. Volunteer Speedway, make some noise for Cameron Marlar! Man, oh man. I tell you what, I got to chat with you at Lake Cumberland, and it was pretty emotional. What does it mean to you to be the first ever Scott Bloomquist Memorial champion?
Oh, man, it means the world. Obviously, that guy was the GOAT of racing. And, man, I was more excited to pass Dale than I was to win the race. Everybody here is like, we're racing for second tonight. And I'm like, man, I've seen him. And I was like, man, I'm fixing to pass Dale McDowell. Let's get it on.
Well, talk about that. You kind of found the top of the racetrack. Brandon kind of found the top early, and then all of a sudden you moved up there. It's kind of similar to what Kyle Larson did here a couple years ago. Talk about getting to turn one, realizing you're on the top and you had space.
Oh, yeah. Well, nobody will ever beat the Kyle Larson performance. That was pretty impressive. But, yeah, man, I kept floating in the middle at the beginning of the race, and I was like, really nice. I'm like, man, I'm pretty good. Like, I probably just need to throw a slider or two that might be questionable and just go on here. And it worked out. So congrats to Vic on an awesome track, as always. This is by far my favorite track, and I'm glad to get a win here.
Tell us about the sponsors on your car.
Curl Properties, B&R Construction, Extreme Flooring, Marlar Auto Mart, my mom and dad. Glenn Clements, fresh motor tonight. That thing got it done. Longhorn Billistein, all them product sponsors. Platinum Design got us a new look this week. So just can't thank them all.
Cameron Marlar, your Scott Bloomquist Memorial winner. Slide over here and get a word with Dale. Man, let's talk about this. Get out front, lead all these laps, and then there's a blue blur that jumps to the outside of you on turn 2. Take us through those moments.
Man, it was exciting to watch from my seat. I did everything I could do. I was no good up there. When I got up there, I was too tight. Just our cars are built to run around the middle, and so I was kind of middle to top down here, and just wasn't meant to be yet. Maybe it's saving up for the Dirt Track World Championship or some big win, but hats off to Cameron. He did an awesome job. He got up on the wheel and did what it took to win the race, and good clean race. I mean, we did all we could do and just come up one spot short. So I need to thank all my sponsors: Easy Go, Klotz, Comatic, Waddell Trucking. He's here. I forget Marty all the time. Waddell Trucking, all of Benedum's companies, BSI and BlackRock, S&H Systems, M&S Motors, True Love and those boys, and Jody Campbell, Campbell Insulation, Jeep, Connected Strategy Advisors, Percy, Central Connected Strategy Advisors, Percy, I'm sorry. So who else am I forgetting? Oh, got a new one, Quality Heat and Air, Sonny Brown. So we got a new one. I'm not used to that, but I've talked to Sonny this week, local company here in this area, and so we got a new one with Mr. Brown, and glad to have Quality Heat and Air on. Beautiful day, great tribute for Scott, Ariel, and her bunches here, and was hoping we could bring him win home, and just couldn't do it. But a great tribute for Scott. Did so much for the sport, and he's still here. He's sitting on the podium. He just didn't win tonight. So this car is from his hard work and sweat and tears, and Shane, my brother, working with him too, and so we'll keep plugging. We'll get one for him here before long.
Dale McDowell, tonight's runner-up here at Volunteer Speedway. We'll jump back here in a word with Michael Brown. Michael, if I tell you you're going to run up front most of the night, challenge McDowell for the lead, what would you say to that?
Yeah, I had a phenomenal car, and I just flat out got out drove right there. I feel like my car was capable of winning if I would have just drove. So disappointed in that, but happy to be standing on the front stretch with these guys. Cameron drove an amazing race. So did Dale. It was a lot of fun out there mixing it up, and I'm thankful for a third-place run for sure, but definitely wish I'd have done a better job behind the wheel.
You got some great sponsors on this machine, too.
Yeah, I want to thank Black Crest Farms, Mark McLeod, and Sandy back home in Sumter for giving me this opportunity to drive this car. I want to thank my crew back here, Miller, Drew, Pops, everybody makes this possible. My awesome wife, my baby boy Mason back at home, and my dog Axel, the crew chief. So I'm appreciative of everybody, and thanks to all these fans for coming out here. I hope y'all enjoyed that race.
Michael Brown, tonight's third-place finisher. Big Kev, we'll send it back up to you. We got our first combo feature coming up.
Yes, sir. They're lining them up on the back straightaway. Cody, I'm telling you what a great race.
All right, the thoughts of our top three tonight in the Super Late Model 50-lap Scorcher main event. And certainly it was a great race indeed for Cameron Marlar, who came out of nowhere. Mike's son doing a great job here tonight in the 57M. Dale McDowell from the pole dominated the first 80% of this race. But as he said, once Cameron got up on the high side, he had hooked up and flew to the lead. And there was no stopping Cameron Marlar tonight from taking home the $10,000 prize for the winner of the Scorcher 50, the Scott Bloomquist Memorial. All right, we've got two features coming your way. Such a big field of crate and